Hello. Hello. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Then why didn't you guys respond? How would I know? Okay, in last class we discussed about queue data structure. So today we will continue with queue. Today we will see different types of queue. Okay. Can you see the slide? Yes, no, anything. Is this screen visible? Okay. So today we will see different types of queue. So there are mainly four types of queue. One is simple queue, which we have already discussed in last class. Then we have circular queue, then priority queue, then the D queue or double-ended queue. Again, in D queue, there are two types: input restricted D queue and output restricted D queue. So we will see all of these types of queue. But out of all, the circular queue is the most important one. So simple queue, you guys already know. What is a simple queue? Insertion and delete can take place from one end only. So if you want to delete something, you will delete from the front, and if you want to add something, you can add from the rear end. So this is the most simplest type of queue which will follow the before. Right? Normal array, if this is front and this is rear, you will add item from here, delete item from here. Okay. Now in simple queue we have a problem. What is the problem? The problem, can you guess what the problem? In a simple queue, what happens? We add item. For example, I'm just adding 2, 2, 7, 8. Okay, these are the items I have inserted into the queue, and accordingly the rear is currently here. Okay. Now what is the overflow condition? Okay, suppose if you want to delete something, what we do? We delete from the front, right? Suppose you want to delete something, you will delete this one. Okay, now front will be here. Second, you want to delete some more items. Now front will be here. You want to delete some more items, front will be here. For example, these three spaces are empty. Okay, these three spaces are empty. Three blocks because you have deleted from the front. Okay, Now, if you want to add something into the queue, will it allow you to add something here? Oh, so will it allow you to add item here now? Simple question. Will it allow? Can you see the whiteboard? Can you see the whiteboard?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. You can see.
So what happens in normal simple queue? Suppose what is the size of this array or queue? What's the size? Suppose this is your front and this is your rear. Okay. So initially both front and rear is 0, correct? Both front rear equal to, let's say, -1 -1. That means your queue is empty. Now, if you want to add something, what happens here? You add an item and you increase the rear part. That means rear will be here. So after adding something, the front and rear will be 0. Okay, now both are at 0. Okay, now you want to add some more item. Okay, here. So you implemented rear equal to rear plus 1. Right? Now here is the rear. Now you want to add some more item. Rear will be here. You again do rear plus 1. Now you want to add something. Again rear will be here. And finally, suppose we added everything, rear will be here. So at this position, what's the location of here? Rear equal to 4. Correct? At this location, rear equal to 4. Front is still at 0. Okay, we always maintain 2 pointers here, front and rear. So at this position, rear is at 4. Right? That means what? size is 5. So here you can write maybe size -1. Right? Now, if you want to delete something from here, what you will do? You will delete from the front end. Suppose you want to delete first element, delete, then you increment the counter. Okay. You increment front. Front will be here now. You will do front +1. Okay. Now you want to delete one more item. You will delete it. Front will be here now. Okay. Now you want to delete one more item. You will simply delete it and front will be here now. Okay. So now, if you want to add something, will it allow? That's my question. Will your queue allow to add item here and queue an item? Yes, no? What do you think? Can we add? Just think about it. Can we add or not? Yes or no? Any idea, any guess? Just guess it. It's okay if you are wrong. We cannot add any more items here. Why? Because here is equal to size -1, which is the overflow condition. Correct? We cannot add anything if Q shows it's a overflow. Correct? So, even though there are space available in front, but we cannot add any item because what we do whenever we add something, we check the overflow condition, right? What's the overflow condition? That means here will be at the last position. It is pointing to the last position. Size is 5. Here is at last position. That means we can add item from the rear end only. But here is at the last position. That means what? It will show the queue is full. So we cannot add any item. So all this space will be just wasted. Okay. In some places, you might see that whenever it delete an item, it shifts things. Okay. For example, here I am showing you. In some places, suppose you have every time you delete an item, what they do? You shift the queue. Okay. It shifts the whole elements in the queue in some of the implementations. Okay, then 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Last one will be empty. Okay. Now you want to add more item, then again it will be deleted and it will shift. Okay. But both way, it's a waste of time. Normally, means in general way, you just follow this thing. You cannot add any item because here will be at the last end and there are lots of empty spaces are available, but you cannot add any item. And even if you do this process, means you are shifting the item the moment you are deleting the item just like normal queue, again the shifting all these elements from one to another position will take time. So it's a waste of time also. So anyways, this is the disadvantage of your normal queue. Okay. Therefore, to solve this problem, we have circular queue. Okay. So what is a circular queue? In circular queue, what happens? This one, after clear, it will point back to the front again. Okay, it will point back to the front again. So in circular queue, what happens? The last node is connected to the first node again. Okay, therefore it is also known as the ring buffer. Okay, it will be in a circular manner. So hypothetically, you can think it like a circular disk with some space. Okay, suppose 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, hypothetically, you can just think it as a circular disk with some space. If you have some items like 4, 5, 6, then suppose this one is the rear and this one will be the front. Okay, so even if you keep adding and finally it is here, I remember. So you can add items. Okay, so we will learn about circular queue a bit more. So in case of circular queue, what happens? Insertion you can do at front and deletion at the end of the queue. Okay, so the main advantage of circular queue is that it provides you better memory utilization. Okay, in case of linear queue, there are lots of empty spaces. The space management is not that good. Okay, and it is called ring buffer because all the ends are connected to another end. Means first one is point to the last one, point to the first one again. Okay, so even if empty space is available in circular queue, the new element can be added in an empty space by simply incrementing the value of clear. Okay, we will learn about this more. Next, another type we have priority queue. So what is a priority queue? This will not follow your FIFO. Okay, this is a special type of queue. Okay, and every element will have certain kind of priority associated with it. Okay, and based on the priority of the elements will be arranged in a priority queue. Okay, it will not follow your FIFO. Every element will have certain priority, suppose for 1, 2, 3, 4 like that, and based on that priority only, you will arrange items in the queue. So it will not serve the FIFO principle. Okay. So if you want to add anything, means NQ or DQ process will be different too. So NQ or insertion will take place based on the arrival and the priority of the element, and deletion will occur based on the least significant one. Okay, so if you want to add something, the least priority will be deleted first. Okay, suppose you have it is similar to simple queue as far as the structure, but suppose you have items like 6, 7, 5, 2, 1. Okay, so I'm just giving you some number. So as per here, the highest priority elements will come first. Which is the highest one? Suppose 6. 6, I'll add first. Sorry, 7 is the highest one, so I'll add 7 first. Next 6, I'll add 6. Next 5, I'll add 5. Next 2, next 1. Okay, now these are just numbers, right? But in some places it might not be any numbers, just that the elements will have certain priorities. Okay, and based on the priorities only, you can add on to the queue. Highest priority will be added first, and the least priority will be deleted first. Naik jalan. Fine, good. So the highest priority element will be added first, and the lowest priority will be removed first. Is this one clear? Okay. Again, in some places, means in some implementation, you might see it also based on the arrival of the node. Suppose there are different nodes, but first I got 6. So I can place 6 here, then I can place 7 here. Then for example, the 2 is coming first. So first come, first serve. 2 will be added first, then whatever is there. But while deleting the item, you will always delete the item with the least priority. Okay. So there might be two implementations. One is like you already know the elements and you are just giving them some priority. And as per the priority, you are adding them. The highest priority will be added first, lowest priority will be added in the last. And while deleting, the lowest one will be deleted first. And another one is it can be based on the arrival of the nodes. Whatever node will come first, you will give them the highest priority. Okay, but deleting thing is same. The least priority, uh, the least prior element will be deleted first. Okay. Next is the dequeue. Dequeue or also known as double-ended queue. So dequeue will not follow any type of default rule at all. Okay. In case of double-ended queue, what happens? Insertion and deletion can be performed from either front or from the rear. Okay. The front and rear will be same, will be there to just to know the head and tail, but you can insert or delete items from anywhere. You can also from the front also you can perform insertion and deletion, and from the rear and also you can perform insertion or deletion. Okay, and accordingly there's two types. One is input restricted, other is the output restricted. Okay, in input restricted, what happens? That means input is restricted at only one end. That means you can add any item from the rear end only. But it allows deletion from both ends. That means from both front and rear, you can delete the item. Input restricted means only adding enqueue operation is restricted and you can perform in rear end only. But in case of deletion, you can perform deletion at both ends. And the output restricted dequeue is just the opposite one. That means output is restricted. You can delete items from the front only, but you can perform insertion at both ends. Okay. For input, you can add item from here on, but it allows deletion from both. Okay, and in case of output, it's the opposite. You can delete from just rear, but you can add item from both. Add and also add. Just from the name, you have to remember this queue part is also very important for any competitive exam. Priority queue, but more than priority queue, it's circular queue and decay. But concept is important everywhere. Okay, all these types are clear. The concept is clear for everyone. All these four types: simple queue, circular queue, priority queue, and double-ended queue. Yes, no, anything. If you want to repeat, I can repeat again. But anyways, we will go through this each type of queues separately too. Let's see what is circular queue. So circular queue, you guys already know the last node will be connected to the first node and all. So what is the main application of circular queue? Because it has better memory management. It is mainly used for memory management, CPU scheduling, and traffic management in your computer. Okay, most of the OS related tasks are done using queue only. Okay, so we have already know that there are certain problems in linear queue. It has poor memory management, therefore we use queue for memory management in our computer. Similarly, CPU scheduling. In CPU scheduling, sometimes we also use priority queue also. There is a subject operating system in fourth or fifth semester. Then you will get to know about how your OS works. Okay, then when you will study that subject, you will know how this queue and stack are used for different purposes. Okay. Next is the entry process, means how to add item. Okay, go to this. Okay, as you guys already know, a normal queue looks like this. So then the last item is pointed to the first. Okay, so hypothetically you can think it as a circular queue. Okay, you can think it like this only. Now, if you want to add something, initially front and rear will be at -1. Okay, now you want to add something. Suppose this is the rear, right? And this is the front. Now both front equal to 0 and rear equal to 0 at this position. Okay, now you want to add something here. Okay, now you will increase it. Rear will be here. Now you want to add some more. Well, rear will be here. Since initially rear was here, you added one item, second you added one, now rear will be 1. Okay, next you want to add one more item. Now rear will be here. Front is still 0. You are just increasing the rear value. You want to add more item, rear will be here. Add more item, rear will be at. Okay, this is how you can enqueue an item. Okay, so what is the overflow condition here? What will be the underflow condition? Now, if you want to delete something, you need to check both, right? Whether it is empty or not. So for underflow condition, you can say like if front equal to -1 and rear equal to -1, correct? If yes, then your stack is empty. Sorry, queue is empty. Okay. So once it is empty, you will set the value of f equal to 0 and r equal to 0, correct? And you will add the item. You can write like, suppose q rear equal to element. Right? If it is empty, you will add the item here. You will increase, set the value front and rear equal to 0 and you will add the item. Okay. Now, in this way, you will keep adding and incrementing the rear value. Now, what is the overflow condition if you want to delete something? In one way, you can write rear equal to size -1. Somewhere it will be there. Okay. And another way to write is like if rear plus 1 mod size equal to front. This is another way to check the overflow condition. Front is at 0 and rear is equal to 4. What is the value here? What will be the value? R equal to 4 plus 1 divided by size, right? 1. So you can reset the value of R to be, it's 0. We are checking just the remainder. So the moment your rear will be at the last, means front is at first, you want to delete something, you can reset the value of R to be 0 again. Okay. So this is the condition to check whether your queue is overflow or not. If so, if it comes like 0, then that means it's a overflow condition. Okay. In that case, what you will do? You will simply write overflow. And if it is a voice is working. Hello. Is it okay now? Maybe a bit network problem. This meeting is going to end soon. Stop sharing. We will see the NQ and DQ process of circulatory in next class. Okay. Keep that into this. Okay, I've taken the attendance. We will see in lab class. In last lab class, I guess we implemented stack using evaluate post feed. Oh no, what is input to post conversion using stack. So today we will implement queue data structure with the help of arrays. Okay. And for circular queue, we will discuss in the next class. Okay. Thank you. I'll end the meeting now.